How's everybody going tonight? My name is Gio Pagano from Everything NYJ. Liam's at work tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow night with Matt O'Leary. We can't wait to have him on tomorrow night. I keep calling him Kevin for some reason, but I feel like there's like a Kevin O'Leary actor somewhere out there. But the great Matt O'Leary is going to be on with us tomorrow night. But on tonight, we have Gunny Gumby back with us. Very good friend of the show. Very good friend of everybody. You've been reaching a lot of traction, my friend. You're doing great.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Man, good stuff. So, as we know, on the bottom screen, we got breaking news that Zack Wilson is out 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe some other sources that may be out 3 to 6 weeks. But yeah, you know what? We all catching our breath a little bit, right? I mean, on Saturday, everyone was just like,
all of Jets Nation, bro. I think all of Jets Nation was distraught to see that happen on Saturday, man. Like, that was painful. It was painful to see. And I think for us, it's like, as he made that cut, right? He makes a cut back in. I think everybody kind of held their breath like, well, you don't need to be doing it now. It's preseason. And then when he started limping, man, and he went down, oh my God. All you saw was the potential, the ceiling of the ceiling pretty much go down with him, man. But hey, he's good. He's good. So it's a good thing. The curses of times past where that would have been a season-ending injury wasn't the case this time around. So it's all good news right now.
You know, there's been a lot of rumors going on. We were going to get Jimmy G. And I'm like, okay, don't start that crap. Don't start that crap. We don't need that crap. We don't need him. Flacco will be fine. Number 15, Sterling will be fine. Mike White, I could see him getting cut, but you never know. I mean, now it's down to 85 people now. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. You know, things are happening, but I think we dodged a bullet with Zack Wilson. We dodged a bullet with, getting Becked in. We wish him the best of luck and everything, but we went to go get Dwayne Brown, which is really good. He's 36 years old, turning 37 soon. And I think that was a great pickup as well. But overall, cuts are happening. We're down to 85. Yeah. We're down to 85 people now. Sources with Rich Samini, we have cut Derek Kelly, Tim Ward, Rashard Davis, and then we just picked them up too, Barku. So, I mean, I kind of want to see more. I want to see more from Rashard Davis. I want to see more from Barku because we just picked them up. You know how it is with tryouts and stuff. Yeah. So I was really hoping for Barku and Rashard Davis, but I understand. You know, Barrios, that's Barrios' spot. You know, punt and kick return. But what are your thoughts on that, brother?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm with you on that. For me, it was Davis and Ward, right? I thought Davis and Ward performed well enough during training camp and even in the preseason game for us to see them, you know what I'm saying, for another round before the next round of cuts. And to see them go that early, I think it just reiterates the fact that, man, this isn't the same old Jets. Like, these two guys specifically would have definitely been on the team 2-3 years ago. They would have been starters potentially 2-3 years ago. But for us to cut these guys, they're going to get picked up relatively quick. They have some good stuff on tape. And I was surprised to see Ward go, and I was very surprised to see Davis go. I wanted to actually see more of those guys in the offseason. But who knows? Maybe somehow, somewhere they slip between the cracks, and we can bring them back on the practice squad. Although I highly doubt that those two won't get picked up.
I think they'll get picked up. I think from the 4 cuts that we have, they're going to get picked up no matter what. And in my opinion, because I feel like it's the first round of cuts that you're safe you're going to be picked up from a team, or at least come back to practice squad, right? So it's one of those things where it's one of the things where cuts continue to come. We might make a trade. Like, we either might make a trade or we might pick up someone now. And now I'm hearing, Mims had a great practice today. He didn't do good in the game, as we know, but Mims is even on the trading block. So it's like, if we trade him for another lineman, or if we get another wide receiver, or we get someone else, I mean, Flacco, that was his guy. Flacco with Mims. They had a great connection.
I don't know if they're going to trade Mims, man. I don't know, because they've been getting phone calls about Mims. No, man, they've been getting phone calls about Mims for about a month now. Joe Douglas has not entertained any of the offers being submitted to him, so they've had the opportunity right now to get some pretty good capital back for Denzel Mims. But I think they believe there's a role for him on this team, and I think as he continues to develop, especially him showing up this preseason in this training camp in phenomenal shape and ready to go, understanding the playbook. Yes, now we saw him, have the penalty in the preseason game. He did have that drop pass in the preseason game as well. It automatically makes us go back to, come on, man, Denzel. He can't afford to make mistakes right now. But when I read this article about how Joe Douglas has been just passing off on any kind of trade offers, I think they want to keep him on the roster, man. Unless somebody blows his socks off. If I'll say this, if Denzel Mims gets traded, we will be trading him for no less than a 3rd round pick. I can guarantee that. I don't think they trade him for anything less than a 3rd round pick.
I could see that. I could totally see that because it's one of those things where we need an old lineman. So if we get an old lineman and a draft pick at the same time, I mean, Mims has that kind of value now as of today.
Yep.
As of today. Because Saturday he didn't really do so well, but today,
right,
as we're talking right now, I think he does add that type of value. Now, value in my mind. Flacco, what a day. What a day. Gunny, tell me more about that, man. He had such a good day.
Look, Joe Flacco, I think today, the worst case scenario, he would have got sacked twice. I think it was twice. It was definitely a sack. He did get some pressures, but he went 16 of 19, 4 touchdown passes today. He passed it around to Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. Conklin got in on it. Like, he has a command of this offense. He's the 2nd year in the offense. He's a high IQ quarterback, man. Like, he's been in the game for a while. You hear Garrett Wilson talking about how, like, his catch is just a little bit easier to catch than Zach Wilson's. I'm going to go, it's probably because Zach has that cannon of an arm and he puts zip behind every pass he throws. So that's fine by me. I'm not upset about it. It's showing that the continuity aspect is there, right? He's familiar with the players from last year, and these new guys coming in have all had a chance to play with him too, man. I think if Joe Flacco has to start some games for us, we're in a pretty good position. I really believe that.
I agree, and plus he's a Super Bowl champion. He knows Joe Douglas' style. He was with Joe Douglas during the Ravens time, and I'm happy he's with us. Honestly,
same here.
I have been so up and down about Zach Wilson lately, and I love him. I love him. I really do. It's a shame with the injuries, right? Because I don't wish anybody injuries, but. He's a second year guy, but it's one of those things where I'm more excited to see Joe Flacco just ball out until Zach Wilson comes back because I don't have confidence in Mike White. I don't have confidence in Mike White. I don't. No. I like what number 15's doing. Strittler. I mean, that was amazing. The comeback.
That was a game.
The comeback.
Yeah, I like that kid. Yeah,
me too.
I'm with you on that one.
On social media, did you see him carrying that trophy when he won last year? With the CFL, I mean not CFL, XFL. It was so great. I was like,
CFL.
That's the kind of dog. That's the kind of dog we need, bro.
I like him. And what made his win so much more impressive is he had no game reps. He had no practice reps with anybody. Like, he had not had a chance to get in on any practice reps. He's just been studying the book, observing from the sidelines, and he had a game, man. He had a game. I was very impressed with the way he finished that game for us and brought us back. That was a comeback victory led by the kid. He led a comeback victory to win that game. I like him.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I love them too. Now going back to the game, I want to talk about Quincy Williams, the bonehead play.
Oh God! Yeah.
I think we all know, and he even knows. He knows as well. I mean, we all make mistakes. But it's one of those things where. But I mean, at that moment, I was like, "Oh God!"
It was a dumb move to begin with, right? But for it to happen in a crucial moment where we were at 3rd down, we had stopped them. Right. Like, it was about to be a turnover on downs, and you give them the 1st down, man. Like, I would have pulled him, man. I think Coach Sala missed a perfect opportunity right there to go ahead and kind of enforce how he wants this team to play, right? Like, yes, fast, hard, violent, but also smart. He emphasizes you got to be smart on the field. Jalen Hurts was out of bounds, man. Like, it wasn't even close. Yeah. That was a dumb play. I think Saleh should have used that moment, pull him. You pull Quincy Williams, you do something stupid like that on my field, you don't get to play for this team for this game. Pull him, make him sit down, let some of the other kids get out there and get some play time. But he got to go back right in the next game, like the next freaking like series, man. And I was just like, wow, okay, you can't make that okay. That can't be okay because there's no consequences for a dumb mix up like that. Like, I don't know, man. That whole thing upset me. Agitated me a lot.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. And then with him coming back in the series, it got my gears turning in my head because I've been watching this game like 5 times. Because like I'm just trying to understand what Saleh is doing through this whole game. Because I mean, yeah, we won. That's great, right? That's great. That's what we want to see. We always do good in preseason. We always do.
That's why I don't like get too excited about it.
But
the way the first team came out, bro, oh my god.
It was just bad. But not only was it bad, it was just he kept them out there.
Yeah.
For the whole first and second quarter. Finally, you pull them in the third and fourth quarter. Thank God. But like, I want to know what's going on with Saleh. I want to know his discipline because now we're getting fights in training camp. He says one thing. I feel like he's going back on his word. I want to know what he's doing with that. I want to know what his mindset is. I know he loves that fire. I know he's got it. I am rooting for Saleh so hard. I want Saleh to do well.
I like him a lot.
He's my guy. But lately, I'm like, what are you doing?
You got it. I think the Buffalo Jet fan said it best, man. Like he said the one rule he had about fights was you don't throw swings.
Right.
You can get chippy, you can push, you can shove, don't throw swings.
Yeah.
We blatantly saw a video from like Jets fans who were at the swings being thrown. There were no consequences, man. There were each fight that's happened the last like 4 fights. There were swings being thrown. Where are the consequences at, man? Like there's got to be consequences whenever the coach says, I won't allow this. You guys can get chippy, y'all can get, shove it, but I won't allow swinging. And they're blatantly swinging. Again, I know he's a players coach. I understand that. I understand he's also a very valuable leader. I think his leadership skill is there. But even with the leader, sometimes you've got to be the bad guy. You've got to be the one that comes in there and say, all right, Mo, excuse me. All right, guys, I said this. You didn't listen. Here's the consequence. There has to be a consequence.
Not only that, it's like there's a time and place for things. There's a time to be a coach. There's time to be a player's coach, and then there's a time for rules. With Saleh, we have just seen, we have just seen. Really, I don't really see rules. I've been watching camp a lot, and I just don't really see some rules. I just see a player's coach. So I hope this continues. I hope he does well. I hope everything continues to go well, and I hope things will be cleared up soon. But in my mind, I just want to see more. So this begs a question: what in your mind, Gunny? What do you want to see the second game? The second game, what do you want to see the most through Saleh, the offense and the defense? Those 3. What do you think?
I want to see them come out there and attack. Of like, dirty hits and stuff out of bounds like Quincy threw, but I want to see the offense like attack. I want it to flow from jump. This whole starting off slow like we did last year, coming into this year with the first preseason game, that can't be the norm going into this year. Right. It cannot be the norm. So I want to go ahead and see the offense pretty much put a drive together when they come out to get on the field. On the defense, to go ahead and show us what they're really about. We've been talking about this defensive line all training camp, all offseason, about how much talent we have there. I want to see it. I want to see the defense like get to some extent put into play so we can get a little bit of an idea of what to expect come the regular season. I'm not saying you got to go ahead and throw the whole defense out there like the whole, but show me that aggressiveness you're talking about. This defensive line is going to live in the backfield. I want to see it. Show me an example of that for a couple of drives, and then I'm good. That's all I'm asking for. I don't care if we win the game. I don't care if we lose the game. I want to see that our first team defense and first team offense are actually going to live up to the expectations that we've been seeing throughout training camp and early on in the OTAs as well.
I couldn't agree more. I'm 100%. I'm 100% with you, and I think this first game was a wake up call for the second game because it's one of those things where now we shouldn't start the starters as much. Let's pull back. Let's look at players that are fighting for a spot and that could be on the practice squad because we already know who's going to make the team. We know who's going to make the team, but we got maybe a few players, like 5 to 15 players that we're kind of like, okay, maybe they could, maybe they can't. In your mind right now, how training camp is going in the second game, who would you be surprised if they cut?
Well, I actually was talking about this last night, and I want to say that it's going to possibly be Vinny Curry or Bryce Huff, man. And one of those guys is going to get cut. And to me, it's going to be surprising because those guys are going to get picked up and they're going to start on the team.
Oh,
they're going to play meaningful reps on somebody else's team. And I can't help but look at the defensive line and how much depth there's there. And with us losing Ward today, which is very surprising, we went that early, we can already tell the defensive line is going to be taking some hits. So, for me, it boils down to, Bryce Huff or Vinny Curry as possibly those individuals that are on the outside looking in. If we're lucky, maybe it's Nathan Shepard. I don't know. I prefer that to be the individual. The Buffalo Jet fan last night made a pretty cool point talking about bringing in Clemens potentially in the interior in place of Shepard, right? And the more you think about it, that could make sense, right? In terms of his strength and his athleticism, he could be a nightmare towards some guards. So bringing him into the interior next to Quinnen. And this is, of course, us getting really hyped because we saw what he did in the preseason. But one of the things that I like about Clemens is he's a grown man coming into the league, man. He's a rookie, yes, but he's 25 years old. That is a grown man coming into the NFL. There's no need for him to grow into his body and understand what his athletic limitations are left to right as he's getting bigger, putting on muscle. He's already done that. So I think what we saw him do to the second, third, and fourth stringers, on Saturday night is something he's probably going to do regularly, in the regular season against starters, man. That man is a freak. So yeah, I think for me, man, it's probably going to be Vinny Curry or possibly Bryce Huff. And I'll be more upset if it's Bryce Huff. Vinny Curry, as much as I like him and whatnot, he is I guess you can say, old dog on the defensive line. And he does bring some situational pass rushing capabilities, but with the level of talent we have at that pass rush position, I think that he's someone that I would hate to see go, but I would understand, and he's definitely going to go ahead and be an impact player on somebody else's roster.
I agree. I agree. And also, I want Vinny Curry and Huff to stay as well. I love them both.
Yeah.
I love Curry ever since he was with the Eagles and stuff. And I hope his health is okay on whatever injury that he has. But also I think I think the guy for me that I wouldn't be surprised that if he got cut would be P. Ryan. I think he's been showing he's been showing flashes. I think we can agree that he's been showing some flashes, but not the consistency of what Hall and Carter bring to the table. And now Zonovan Knight having a really good game.
Yeah.
Zonovan Knight's been having a very good
man. Yes, he has. I like Ben.
He's been having a good camp as well. I think P. Ryan is one of the guys next to go. But the wide receiver position, in my mind, is probably on the offense is probably the most complicated, along with the tight ends, because we're looking at people want Cager, Cager. Is it Cager or Cager?
It's Cager.
Cager. Okay. People are looking at. I mean, I'm looking at Cager, right? I'm like, that
beast
dude
mode.
is tall. He's tall.
Yeah. He's fast.
I'm like, he's ready to go. And I'm like, okay, well, if I could bring on a fourth tight end, I would bring him. Wesco is definitely gone. So it's like I would love to keep Cager. And then, from a tight end position, Ruckert's going to be there, Uzama and Conklin. But it's cool if you bring on a wide receiver position. Jeff Smith, I would love to see Jeff Smith stay. I love to see Mims stay, Berrios. But, now we got to talk about Calvin Jackson.
I love
game
Calvin
winner.
Jackson, man.
I want him to
Calvin
stay
Jackson.
so bad. But who would you pick? Who would you pick?
I'd pick him over Jeff Smith, man. I'd pick
Really?
Calvin Jackson over
Okay.
Jeff Smith. I would. People would tell me I'm crazy, but you look at Calvin Jackson's, man, and again, another grown man coming into the NFL, right? This isn't somebody who has to grow into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already a fully grown man. He's played a lot of football, and I followed him a little bit, you know what I'm saying, watching Last Chance University when he played with JJ. The kid's got heart. He's got quickness. He can play special teams as well. And he's good for a big play here and there as well. I think that his ceiling is a little bit higher than Jeff Smith's, but I think ultimately Jeff Smith's going to win out because he has the familiarity with the offense and with Zach Wilson. That's going to be what pushes him to potentially be on the roster, and we'll lose Calvin Jackson. But I'd rather keep Calvin if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, in that wide receiver room, I don't want to lose Denzel. I'm a big fan of Denzel. I'm just waiting to see this kid explode. We're not getting rid of Garrett. We're not getting rid of Elijah. Corey Davis ain't going nowhere. Barrios ain't going nowhere, right? Let's be honest. So I think it comes down to Jeff Smith, Calvin Jackson, and I think I would prefer Calvin, but it's going to be Jeff Smith. It's going to be Calvin that's on the outside looking in when it's said and done.
I hope he makes a practice squad or something. That would be dope because I don't want to get rid of him. I don't want to get rid of him.
No.
Going in to Monday night, we got Monday Night Football, August 22nd, Jets. How do you think that game's going to go for you in your mind?
Against the Falcons, man, I think we have a much better talented roster than the Falcons do. I mean,
I agree. And plus Drake London going down. That's huge.
With that knee injury, that's massive, right? So they're back to that situation where who's other than, the tight end. Wow. Having a brain fart, like superstar tight end from last year.
Wow. No. I see him.
I can see him too.
I see his jersey.
Freak athlete. Yeah.
Oh, Kyle Pitts.
Freak athlete.
Pitts? Is it Kyle
Pitts?
Pitts?
Thank you, Pitts. It's Kyle Pitts. Yeah, no, it's Pitts. Yeah. So Pitts. Yeah. But Pitts was almost unguardable last year, right? So that's going to be a challenge, I think, to see exactly what our new safety and what our linebackers can do sticking with that man, because last year he proved to be unguardable. So I think we should be able to go in there and get a W in all actuality. Again, do I really care if we win this game or not? I don't. I mean, if they win, I'll be excited. If they lose, I'm not going to be bothered by it. I don't care. I just want to see our first team offense and first team defense show us what they've been showing us in training camp against themselves. All right, great. We can do that stuff against each other. I want to see us do it against some other NFL teams. So that's what I'm really pumped up and excited for to see Monday night.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. Now, last game for me, I was like, okay, some injuries pissed me off, almost threw my TV, and I'm like, okay, now I want to win. I want to win this game. Fuck it, I want to win this game, right? So Monday, if anybody gets injured or goes down, I'm gonna be like, okay, I don't care about the game. I don't care if we win or lose. I don't care. Just don't get injured. That's all. Just don't get injured.
That's
don't
fair.
Get injured. Just don't get injured. If someone gets injured again, knock on wood, then I'll be like, all right, you better freaking win this game, because we have
at that point.
Upside.
What else are we going for?
Yeah, exactly. And we have some upside going into it, because we have Giants. We got the joint practices with the Giants this weekend.
Yeah.
So, or is the Falcons, right? Or Giants? It's Giants. Right?
It's Falcons on Monday. I think the Giants practice will start next week, don't they?
Oh, I thought it was Saturday. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I could be wrong too, though.
We have a joint practice coming up, and it's before the game. I think it's before this game, or it's the other game. But we actually have an advantage, because if we do face against the Falcons, we're pretty sure we do. It's kind of an advantage because we already know what they're all about. The only thing that I don't want to see is chippiness. Get those guys out of here. I just get them out. Mims, get your crap together, because I want you on this team. Get the other guy out. Hammonds, get him out. I don't care about it anymore. Go. I wish him the best of luck, but I just want him. I don't want guys like that on our team, because I've been hearing, in the summertime, we've been hearing about Anavik and Sue coming to the Jets, and I didn't want that either. So
I did not want that either.
So it's one of those things where weed out those guys. We weed out those guys. I don't want fights. I want to have a good, clean game. I want to come into it, and I want a W, but I just want injuries and not do it more. But last thing I want to talk about, Gunny, is how do you think training camp went today? There's a lot of stuff that happened today, especially with Wilson's news. How do you think training camp went today?
I think it went great, man. Actually, my video is uploading right now for my training camp day recap. And bro, it's good to see that the offense and the defense are both now getting the best of each other, right? The defense was still doing what they do best, getting into the secondary, getting into the backfield and putting pressure on Joe Flacco. But Joe Flacco was able to go ahead and know exactly where the quick routes were, where the hot routes were, and getting the ball out quickly, right? And hitting those receivers in stride, tight ends in stride. Brees Hall had a couple of nice catches and some good play today. I think it was a great camp all around because everybody seemed to go ahead and be, I want to say, like on the same page or on rhythm in terms of their side of the ball. We saw Elijah Moore get a beautiful, beautiful pass from Joe Flacco on the 3-4 yard line. He had Sauce guarding him, right? And he made the catch. And I think that would have been the first time Sauce Gardner got scored on so far in camp. But he was able to push him out of bounds before he actually got into the end zone. But it was a beautifully timed pass, beautiful crisp route. There was enough separation, even though Sauce was right there with freaking Elijah initially. The double move he put on him in the back end of it created separation for where Joe can put the ball only where he can reach out. Man, I thought that was great. It's showing that the timing with those guys are on point. They're communicating well and exactly where they need to be on the field. We saw DJ Reed also make a little bit of a comeback today as well. He didn't get to do 14 reps, but he's been injured for the last couple of weeks with that hamstring injury. So we had a DJ Reed sighting today. That was pretty awesome because that guy's going to be an impact player. Although Bryce Hall's been holding his own. I don't know if you've noticed, but Bryce Hall's been holding his own in the absence of DJ Reed. So, man, like now I'm over here like, man, we've got 3 caliber starting outside cornerbacks if needed. Like they're going to have to find ways to go ahead and get Bryce Hall on the field. Like they're going to have to find a way to get him on the field. But DJ Reed came back and yeah, man, I thought it went great, man. I thought today was a really good practice. It's a beautiful thing to see the defense and the offense getting the best of each other versus just being one-sided the entire time.
And not only that, you know, it's good to see majority of people back on the defense. Lawson was out there. JFM was out there. Yeah. It was good to see those guys back. Like you said with Reed, Joe Douglas, don't trade Hall. I know you're always cooking up with something. He's always cooking up with something. Recently I saw that Joe Douglas is cooking up something, and immediately I went Mims back then or Hall. And I'm like, just don't. But I was glad to see Hall. Glad to see Hall out there. He's doing great. Everybody loves him.
Yes, man.
Great to see Dwayne Brown out there as well. And then great for this press conference, first press conference. I love that he wanted to be here. He was with Saleh, with the Texans, and he's always had a great relationship with Saleh against him when he was with the Seahawks against the 49ers. He wanted to be here because he knew guys and he wanted to be with Saleh. That's great. That's what I love to hear. Anybody would, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
But
yeah, the Dwayne Brown interview, I watched it, and I actually did a bit of a video on that too on my recap. It was how he talked about how, like, man, they've been talking about this for a while. He gave us shout outs as Jets fans, talking about how much we showed him love and support and wanting him to come on board once he made his initial visit. But what really stuck out to me is that him and George Fant have been talking for a while. So, like, even before there was an agreement made, it was almost as if him and George Fant already knew, like, look, bro, if I come over there, would you be comfortable going to the right side? And George Fant, respecting him and their friends, is like, yeah, man, I can do the right side thing. You do the left side thing. It's all he's ever done. Yeah. That shows mutual respect. And it made me appreciate George Fant that much more because he could have easily been like, no, I want to fight for that left tackle spot. We're going to make this a competition. Right. He could have made it complicated, and he did not. George Fant really, like, he just elevated himself in terms of me, like, as a fan favorite because of the fact that he was able to make it so seamlessly. And Dwayne Brown giving him a shout out like that to kind of like let us all know, like, listen, this is the quality of a tackle you've got on this roster. Like, you know, friendship aside, professionally, he was just like, boom, I'll make the move over because that's your natural position. And he knows he can play from both sides. So that was eye-opening for me. But yeah, man, I was talking to somebody about this the other day about how Dwayne Brown, I think arguably we would all have to admit, is probably an upgrade today from Mekhi Becton, right? We don't know what he's going to be since his rookie year. Coming into this
I
game,
agree.
I think today, you know what I'm saying? Let's say they were both healthy. I would still say Dwayne Brown today is a better tackle than Mekhi Becton because, one, we know he can stay on the field. Two, he's made Pro Bowls, several Pro Bowls. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, the first team All-Pro 1 time, and then the second and third team All-Pro the other 2 times. But he has a resume that resonates. He's played with players like Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and in a very similar scheme in terms of athletic, mobile quarterbacks like Zach Wilson is going to be, right?
Right.
I think Mekhi Becton has a higher ceiling, obviously, by far. But in terms of the floor, Dwayne Brown has a much higher floor than Mekhi does. So in essence, I feel like we upgraded on the line with Mekhi Becton going down. Again, not to say that I wanted it or anything like that. I still want to see Mekhi on the field, so we know what we really have with the kid. But in terms of today, or if they were both healthy today, our O-line actually took a step forward with Dwayne Brown at left tackle.
I couldn't agree more because I love Becton, but we all know his injury history. And even Dwayne Brown has an injury history, and he's also getting up there in age. But he was a Pro Bowler the last 3 years, and last year was one of his best years of his career as well. So that's why I'm not really worried about what kind of presence he's coming with because he's a veteran. He's a really good veteran. He knows his stuff, and he's got a great relationship with Fan already. Everyone was like, how is everything going to happen with Fan? What's going to happen with that? I wasn't worried. Because they played together with the Seahawks. They had the same situation, not there in particularly, but they're friends. They're going to work it out, and the coaching staff is going to work it out. I was not worried one bit, and I'm happy that they did, and I'm happy our O-line upgraded. Now Flacco, if he can just do the job for 2 or 3 games or 4 games, whatever happens, hopefully no setbacks with Wilson, knocking on wood, but I am confident that Flacco is going to do this job. Even if Flacco gets injured too, I am confident Stringer, number 15, is going to do the job too. Now, if we go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm going to be like, no, don't do that. But I think Stringer has solidified him as the QB3 if something happened with Flacco or something else happens with Wilson. That's how I'm excited about this guy, in my opinion.
I mean, 100%, man. 100%. I think the Jets fan base, like the NFL in general, is going to see a quality product on the field come opening day. I really do, man. Right. I just think that. And even better is we know what happened with Zach Wilson last year, right? When he got hurt and he had a chance to kind of sit back and watch. He came back better when he came back from his injury, right? So,
agreed.
For all we know, Zach Wilson had the jitters and whatnot, the excitement, the adrenaline running through his body, that preseason game, which is Garrett Wilson, the interception. And I think, man, I'm just excited to go ahead and see Zach Wilson in full action. That's what it's going to be boiled down to. But I think until he's back and he's ready, sitting on the sidelines to watch Joe Flacco lead that offense for a little bit from a veteran presence that's been in this game, won a Super Bowl, I think it's going to be nothing but a positive for this roster.
I couldn't agree more, man. I am with you 100%. Jets fans, that is it from me and Gumby. Gunny, appreciate you being on the show, my man.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, brother. Appreciate you for having me.
All right. Where can they find you, Gunny?
Hey, y'all can find me at New York Jets Situation Report on YouTube or at New York Jets Sit Rep on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as TikTok. So trying to get you guys content on the regular. Follow me on all those platforms, and you won't miss a thing.
Guys, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, everything MYJ. You can follow me at Italy_Jet as well, and Liam Johnson on Instagram. We love having content for you. This is what we live for. Jets football. Still keep the faith. We're going to have a good year. No matter what, it's going to be okay. We always have faith. Keep the faith. We're going to be good. Jets fans, see you tomorrow night. Matt O'Leary, can't wait to have him on. You don't want to miss it. Good night, everyone.